Hello and welcome to today's edition of our Watch Along on Premier Sports Fan Center. My name is Adeyemi Shegun and I'll be your host for today's edition of Watch Along on Premier Sports Fan Center, where we are beaming to you the biggest derby in England of recent. Yes, that's to be the biggest derby when you talk about the Manchester derby. It's the Manchester derby game between Manchester United and the Manchester City team. And we know who dominates that city right now is the citizens who are dominating in the Manchester. It's the old glory guys against the new glory guys, like I love to call them, because the Manchester City are the new generation of the Manchester, and they are so lousy in the city that they currently own that city and with the bragging rights. And don't forget, last season they ended last season with a treble, and these are just the only two teams in England to have won treble. So let's see who ends the bragging right today between Manchester United and Manchester City, with Manchester United playing at their home ground, talking about the Old Trafford, which hasn't really been of good favor to them this season. Well, like I said, my name is Adeyemi Shegun, and I'll be your host for the next 90 minutes, whereby we'll be dishing you out a lot of analysis and commentaries from this game. But I won't be doing that alone, as I have with me in the studio Solomon and Yemite. Good afternoon, guys.
Good afternoon. It's a wonderful day to talk about the prestigious and the famous Manchester derby. And it's going to be an exciting encounter.
Solomon, before we go deep into it, what are your expectations, looking at this game? It's actually one of the biggest derby when we talk about derbies in England, Manchester City versus Manchester United.
Yeah, already, as we are seeing, I'm expecting a very tough encounter here between the two sides, despite the fact that I know Manchester United, they are not, their form is not as expected. But I know when it comes to the derby, it's a different ball game entirely. The two sides, it's like they are rivals, they are rivals, and they actually want to take the pride of the Manchester. And though we know Manchester City right now, the glory is upon them because they won treble, they won the EPL, FA Cup, and the Champions League. And Manchester United, they are still struggling. The only thing they have to show was the Carabao Cup last season. So today they want to actually stand up and make a statement here that, hey guys, we know you won all this thing, but right now we have something to show you. And despite the fact we know that they are struggling, but I know they will bring out their best. And despite the fact we know Casemiro is injured and others, what we are seeing here, we are seeing a good defensive work. And we saw a breadline save from Onana, a combination of Onana and Maguire also again. We would have been counting a goal against Manchester United now. But to God be the glory.
Well, to God be the glory. He has to give it to God, because today is Sunday. And full-time in the other centers, Everton defeated West Ham at the London Stadium 1-0 today. And also in the game between Aston Villa and Luton Town, it's currently Aston Villa leading 3-1 in the 90-plus minutes, while Brighton and Fulham are currently playing 1-1 in the 90th minute. Liverpool, another team, who's actually in good form, are currently defeating Nottingham Forest, 3-0 as late as 90th minute, and as early as 20th minute, still 0-0 between Manchester United and Manchester City, with Manchester City looking like the better of the two Manchester teams. Coming into this game, we've seen Onana, considered a lot of goals, and he has been in the papers for the bad images of bad teams. Do you think he stands any chance against the Erling Haaland today?
He stands a chance. He's a very good goalkeeper. If he can get his head into the game. And we've seen him make some crucial saves so far in this encounter. I think Onana is the reason why Manchester United are not 1 or 2 goals down already. So I think he's a big game goalkeeper. He's a big name goalkeeper, and he can continue to do what he knows to do best. No pressure. These things happen to footballers almost all over the world. So I think Onana is going to do it.
Okay, you can hear that from your mate. It's so funny as I want to see how many goals Onana can concede today, or how many saves he will be able to make, talking about the Cameroonian goalkeeper. It was a big money signing from Inter Milan at the beginning of the season, but he has a big boots to actually fill, talking about the former Manchester United goalkeeper De Gea, who is currently without a club. But there have been speculations that De Gea might actually be coming back to Manchester United in January on a short-term deal. Do you think that is actually a good one for De Gea to take?
De Gea currently doesn't have a club, and half bread is better than none.
But it begs the question: as big as the eyes of a goalkeeper. Why are clubs not actually wanting that young man?
First, you have to consider his age.
But you know, goalkeepers actually peak over 30.
Yes, over 30. But look at the trajectory of football right now. Everybody is actually going for younger in their 20s, looking at it as an investment. And I think the bid came from Saudi. They just decided not to go to Saudi Arabia.
Okay, 21 minutes gone in the game between Manchester City and Manchester United. The Manchester City has a free kick in a very dangerous position, and that was easily caught out by Manchester United defenders. And don't forget, Manchester United are playing in their home attire, talking about the red top and the black shorts, while Manchester City are playing in their sky blue jersey and the white shorts attire. And it's a game being played at the Old Trafford. Let's see if Manchester United will be able to redeem all images here against Manchester City. It's a big tie and one of the biggest football, if not the biggest football on the Sunday around the Europe, and not just Europe, but around the world, because everybody talking about football fans are interested in seeing who comes out victor in this encounter. And back into that encounter is Manchester City, who just lost contact of the ball and returned back to Onana, who takes a deep one into the midfield, but that is easily cut out by Manchester City as they are with the ball in the midfield. And there's still no Kevin De Bruyne in today's fixture.
Yeah.
But he is back from injury. We should be seeing him back in Manchester City starting 11 anytime soon. How of the big news it was Kevin De Bruyne to Manchester City, and what is the fate of Julian Alvarez if Kevin De Bruyne gets match fitness?
Yeah, you know, Kevin De Bruyne has come of age too. It's high time where Pep Guardiola will start thinking. I think there's a VAR check. Okay,
there's the VAR check there. Let's see if that was a penalty. There's a penalty appeal there from Manchester City. It's looking like VAR is checking that, and it looks like that was is that an easy one? Okay, that's what VAR decision will be there. Don't forget, we are in the 25th minute of this encounter, and there's a VAR check against a pull there from a Manchester United player against Manchester City. Any moment from now, the referee might be signaling if that's going to be a penalty or that is going to be a minimal contact. But from my screens here, it's looking like a minimal contact.
Actually, it's a minimal contact. It's a soft situation there. But it's not all the referee that want to consider that. But actually, there was a drag. It dragged him.
That contact, when you look at it, it was enough.
Penalty has been given.
And the penalty has been given to Manchester City.
It was enough.
The second game
where he held and the movement of Rodri, that touch stopped Rodri from attacking the ball. So it's about interpretation of the rule. So
and a penalty to Manchester City in the 24th minute, approaching 25th minute.
You know, I said it was enough.
And this is the second penalty Manchester United is giving out. You know, within a week, we saw them give out a penalty against in the Champions League against Copenhagen. And here today, they've actually given a penalty against Manchester City.
But that was a silly hold from.
You know, some of this situation.
Some of this. That was a silly hold.
It was unnecessary. It was actually unnecessary
to
drag him.
It was unnecessary.
Why do you have to drag him? It was not necessary.
There was no need.
You understand what I'm saying? It was not even going to get the ball. So why do you have to drag him?
Drag him there.
You know, sometimes I wonder why players easily lost their head when they are on the field. You know, I've played football and I know sometimes it's fun, but sometimes you get aggressive.
You play football in Nigeria, not outside shores of
Nigeria.
Is it not the same spirit?
Football
has one
thing you see.
And it's the 26th minute. It's the penalty to Manchester City right now. And whereas the standing over the ball is the big man talking about Erling Haaland, who is looking to add to his 10-goal tally right now. In the 10th game of the season, it's Erling Haaland against Andre Onana. Onana was Manchester United's savior against Copenhagen in the Champions League. Let's see if he will be saving Manchester United twice, or will Erling Haaland be scoring his 11th EPL goal this season. Even when this young man is not in form.
It will be his 10th goal. His
10th goal, sorry. He's on 9th goal. And that is a goal for Manchester City in the 25th minute. He does it for the Norwegian. Talking about Erling Haaland. He scores his 10th goal this season for Manchester City to give Manchester City the lead against Manchester United in the 26th minute of this encounter. Through a penalty, it's Manchester City 1, Manchester United 0 at Old Trafford.
Yeah. All right, Manchester United have actually paid for their carelessness. You know, Urge Lord of all people, I never expected him to do such a thing. You know, probably if he have left that ball, it wouldn't have been a goal, because the situation around that wouldn't have warranted Manchester City scoring that goal. But he gave it to a cheap penalty, and the referee was not yet to. He's not ready to kind
and if Onana had gotten that angle, he would have saved that penalty.
Yeah. So the referee was not ready to, to consider whether soft or hard. He went and gave that penalty.
That tackle is not soft.
It has been scored, and he has given Erling Haaland 10th goal. Though we saw Salah coming closer, he was on 9 before. Haaland was on 8th goal. Salah scored today. So he's on 8th goal. So coming close, and a lot of players are also coming close. But anyway, it's going to. I don't think Haaland will be able to take this.
Like seriously, you don't expect Haaland to take the top scorer?
He's not going to take it.
With De Bruyne coming back,
this is still very long to still very long to predict.
Except for injuries.
I'm always sure the gaffer is always predicting against all odds. So I'm not always surprised when I predict things like that. It's the 27th minute, and it's Manchester United who are trailing by 1 goal to 0 against Manchester City at the Old Trafford. It's Manchester United at home, and for so long it's City shadows. They've been playing in Manchester City shadows across talking about recent history. It has been Manchester City dominating in the Manchester derby, and today is looking like it's going to be another game where Manchester City finds it easy against Manchester United. Last season, they lost the first game 6-3. Then the second one, they defeated Manchester United. They defeated Manchester City at Old Trafford, which gave Eric Ten Hag his first Manchester derby victory in a controversial way, as you said. But today, looking at the 27 minutes of this encounter already, it's looking like a game that Manchester City is dominating. And at the end of the day, they might actually take this victory. Are you forecasting or are you foreseeing, a high scoreline victory for Manchester City, or is it going to be a low scoreline victory?
I think there will be more goals in this encounter. It's going to be a well-scoring encounter, but I don't think it will be as high as the 6-3 or there about the other time. Maybe a 2-1, 3-0, 2-1, 1-2, 2-0 result. But there will be goals in this encounter.
It's full-time in the game between Brighton and Fulham, and that encounter ended 1-1 between Brighton and Fulham. And don't forget, before that penalty was taken, Onana was shown the first yellow card in this encounter for wasting time and delaying Haaland's spot kick. But eventually, the Manchester City striker and the top goal scorer last season for the EPL champions, talking about Manchester City, and Erling Haaland scored the first goal in this encounter. That is a big man striker and a man that is always up to the task when you want him.
Yeah, when you need somebody to step up, you just got to call Erling Haaland. He has been doing it before. He's still doing it. And it looks most likely that he will continue to do it. And the great news is that De Bruyne is almost back. And whenever De Bruyne is back, he's always hungry for assist. And when the assist king is available for the clinical finisher, teams will suffer. And you just have to give it to Man City. That signing of Haaland last season was a brilliant.
But looking at that pool, it looks like that was actually careless from.
It's a careless.
Look at, because you are in the box, you are in a delicate.
He threw his hand forward to hold that guy.
He saw that penalty.
So that's not a soft touch. That is a strong enough touch.
And you can see him explaining himself to the coach then what he actually
let's see if the Dane striker can actually respond to that penalty given out to Manchester City. He's a big man striker. Also, let's see if he can get his first goal in the Manchester derby against Manchester City today for Manchester United. A very big comeback is very much possible in this first half as we are in the 29th minute, or 30th minute, approaching the 31st minute, which leaves us with about 14 more minutes to go of regulation time in the first half. It's a game of two bad coaches, talking about Pep Guardiola and Eric Ten Hag. Let's see who the best bad man is going to be tonight in this encounter. And don't forget, you can be a part of this conversation by dropping your comments in the live chat. We'll promise to read it out. And also tell us where you're viewing us from around the world. It's very much important to want to know where we are seeing that.
And that's the one.
United with this big equalizer, Watchalong against the goalkeeper. But that was a touch too many there. And another good chance for Manchester United, but they wasted that. And that is from their captain, Bruno Fernandes, where he couldn't just put that across the goalpost, and it's all for a goal kick. Look at that defending. That was a careless defending, and a chance for Watchalong to get, to redeem his image in this game. But he actually drew that too wide.
Yeah. He drew it too wide. Look at his move. His touch was actually bad, and it's like he was even pushed. He was pushed, and that little push disbalanced him. you know, and it's a soft contact too. Just like though it's not like the penalty. The penalty was so obvious, but to me it was not. I wouldn't have, you know, given that as a penalty. You know, most time because they say the VAR.
Not the referee.
Yeah, most time they say the VAR does not favor Manchester City. But this present days is like
VAR
has been.
There's no VAR.
You don't bring that topic in. That's like you are saying you are trying to blame the referee for doing the right thing.
That's the penalty.
That's a penalty.
To blame. That was actually
the point you are driving at. You are trying to color the thoughts that the referee made a mistake.
It was a soft.
There's nothing soft. There's nothing soft. That wasn't the blame.
That was a pull.
You shouldn't be making those type of mistakes in the box. That is a box. You shouldn't be making such mistakes.
We are going to see that in show again. But
there's nothing to show. There's nothing to see
of the game. That is a penalty 127.
And this is not the first time this was given as a penalty. So there's nothing like the referee was wrong or VAR was cheating Manchester United. No, there's no wrong decision. There, it was actually a penalty against Manchester United. It was a worthy penalty given to Manchester City. Straight to the statistics of this game on ball possession at 32nd minute of this encounter, sits at Manchester United with 47.4% of ball possession, while Manchester City have the better share of ball possession with 52.6% of ball possession. Total shots have seen Manchester City played 4 total shots and Manchester United with just 2 total shots in this game. Shot accuracy has been 50% for both teams, and it shows how big they are when it comes to taking those shots. Passing accuracy is 82% for Manchester United and it's 7% for Manchester City. It shows that both teams are actually up to the task and, you know, playing against each other like they are. You know, when it comes to derby, you know, there's this kind of momentum, there's this kind of spirit that comes into it. When it comes to local derby, you know, within vicinity, you come into that game, you know, looking motivated, you don't want to lose bragging rights within the city, because that is why we're seeing Manchester United looking like they're actually better today. And it's unlike the Manchester United we've seen this season. Looking at the performance for the first 32 minutes of this encounter, they've actually given a good account of themselves.
Yeah, you know, when you need boys to become men, these are the kind of encounters you need to test on their level of improvement. It's just a shame that that penalty came by. What a silly touch from Odlund, unnecessary dragging. And I just feel the penalty decision is the main reason why they go down. Apart from that, Man U has not played badly in this encounter. And even Onana, the corporate people keep talking about, has not done badly too. It's just football.
And the referee at the Old Trafford encounter is Paul Tierney, and he's been assisted by Neil Davies and Scott Leisure, while the fourth official is Craig Paulson. Looking at Paul Tierney, you know, he's not a new coach. He's also a big coach, big referee, when it comes to EPL matches. Not also far from criticism, but you know, that is always, we are used to that when it comes to the EPL. But, you know, he has actually been a fantastic referee.
Yeah, he has been a fantastic referee, but you cannot dissociate controversies from the English officiators, like the referees and the VAR assistant referees. So those things are there. It's just like 5 and 6. And there's something they do say that there's no such thing as bad publicity. When you talk about controversies, you are reminding yourself of the Premier League. When you talk about, oh, that penalty, that, before you know it, it takes the conversation off your lips again. So you just have to give it to them. They know how to run their league, and they are doing a good job at it.
Okay, and it's the 36th minute already in this encounter. It's still Manchester United 0, Manchester City 1, and it's still Manchester City asking all the right questions against Manchester United. Who are attacking right now is Manchester City, and it's from the right to the left right now, and they go out for a pull-out without be a goal. It looks like an handball there again without being a second penalty, and it's Harry Maguire who just cleared out for Manchester United in what will have given Manchester City a good chance to go 2 goals up there. Let's see if that's not an handball. It looks like another chance that might have been, you know, wow, oh, that was easy. That was so close there. And that was off Dalot's body. No, he was actually trying to clear the lines. So, but that will be given as a penalty. Let me check it out. And it's the corner kick to Manchester City. And it's Julian Alvarez standing. Takes that into the Manchester United box. But that is not going to be cleared. That was easily cleared by Manchester United. Jack Grealish on the ball right now. Drops it out for Alvarez, who goes into the midfield and find Ruben Dias, who goes back to the right side, and it's Manchester City doing all the attacking right now and calling Manchester United to come out and attack. But we're seeing Manchester United defending with all their man behind their walls right now. And don't you think it's too early to defend for Manchester United?
There's no time to defend. That is too early to defend. If they go 2-3 goals down, you know, last season must have taught them a lesson. Don't go to goals down in a way that it will be difficult for you to come back into the encounter. Just preserve a slim lead, and when you see your chances, take them. Adibin Ojlon took that chance. It will be back to 1-1, and it will be game on. So it's very, very important for them to take note of that.
Okay, and talking about one man that is on the bench today, is Mason Mount is on the bench today. Well, what do you think? What are your thoughts about Mason Mount? You know, since leaving Chelsea for Manchester United, it seems he has been struggling. He's still finding his first goal for Manchester United in the EPL, in the Champions League, and every center is still looking for his first goal.
Yeah, as far as I'm concerned, Man U was a terrible decision for him to go to. I think he could have gone to either Bayern or Liverpool. Would have been a better option for him, because looking at the way Manchester United plays, it doesn't suit Mason Mount in a way, because he
just free kick to Manchester City, and that was easily caught out there by Andre Onana, and all from Manchester City corner kick, and that was taken by the Argentine striker Julian Alvarez. You look at the free kick. That was well taken from the Argentine striker, and the former current World Cup winner, because he was the World Cup. They are the current defending champions of the World Cup, and he won the World Cup with Argentina at what's it called, Qatar 22 World Cup. Sorry, and yes, that corner kick has been taken. And that was easily caught out by Manchester United boys. Manchester City was still in vast control of the ball, and they take one deep straight into the box. But that will be going out for a goal kick to Manchester United, and they'll be happy about that going out for a goal kick. Now let's go straight to the starting 11. Manchester United are playing with a good possession, with a good formation, a 4-2-3-1 formation, and Pep Guardiola also set out with a 4-2-3-1 formation. It's 4-2-3-1 against 4-2-3-1.
Yeah, one will know how to use it than the other. There's one that is possession-based. You see, arranging formation sometimes can be very tricky. There are some coaches that they'll put a formation on the table, and when you start watching the way they are playing, 5 minutes interval, or going to the attack, coming back to the defense, you will see the movement. Sometimes, if you look at Man City, they are not really playing. You can see even Rodri, a pivot, playing eye line.
Even the chance for Manchester City, and it's Jack Grealish with a shot, and it's all for another Manchester City's corner kick in the 39th minute. They've been asking all the questions, you know. It's about when are we going to get the second goal, because they've been attacking Manchester United. Every corner has actually been an attack against them.
I think there might be a goal before the end of first half, most likely, and it might most likely be Man City, but only time will tell.
Okay, only time will tell, and that's a big call from United. Let's see if there will be a goal from Manchester City in the first half, and again, because it's currently 1-0 in favor of Manchester City. In the 40th minute, is Julian Alvarez with the corner kick, and it was easily caught out by Manchester United. Sorry, and back in play is Manchester City, and they are attacking Manchester United, and back into their other half of the field. And let's go straight to the comment section. We have Solomon Joseph. To me, that was a soft penalty against Manchester United. This year in that decision on that bias.
There's no, see, football is just like a constitution. And when you have a constitution, there are some places you can be flexible with. There are some places that the yes is a yes and the no is a no. First, he pulled out his hand. His hand left his body to prevent Rodri from making that run. And look at it, he's actually used that hand to stop Rodri from attacking the ball. Either the ball would be in the range for Rodri or not. Rodri is going in the direction of the ball, so there's no way it won't be a penalty.
Okay, we also have Basi Osage. I personally believe that this match will end 2-1 in favor of United. This is a big match, and United are playing from home. Are playing at home. they will find a way to put smiles on the face of their fans. Wow, that's a big call, you know.
Yeah.
Taking Manchester United against 2-1 against Manchester City.
We saw a game yesterday whereby a team dominated first half and the other team came in the second
Call
half.
the name of the team.
And the second half.
You don't want to call the name of the team.
Okay, to be candid, we saw Barcelona dominate the first half.
Okay.
And Madrid came back. You know, they say the pigeon guys will say, no be person with first cup will lose the win kick.
Pass your side game, that's actually a big call, and we'll be here till 90 minutes to see if Manchester United actually win this game 2-1. I would love to see if that prediction comes to life. And straight away from Barcelona side game, we also have Mike here. Where is Rashford? And talking about Rashford, he's actually a player that's actually, you know, vanished like the vanish spray.
You know, when we talk about Rashford, you see that the previous matches, the previous head-to-head between Manchester City, he is the one who has scored goal 3 consecutive times. But now, the Rashford of the old is not the Rashford of the new. So that's why I begin to wonder, how will Manchester United get this goal? But let's see if Ojlund can come to the party. You know, because the Rashford we know, in fact, there's a drought of goal in his game recently. You know, I don't know when last he scored.
You know,
but class is permanent. That's what they say.
Rashford has the class, but you cannot deny the fact that Rashford is no longer the point man. The point man is now Ojlund, and you have to play with a direction, and the direction is to the striker. If Rashford gets the goals, fine.
Oh, wow. that should be a card.
That should be a yellow card against.
That should be a card against a Grealish.
Against Grealish, but I doubt if that was given as a yellow card against Jack Grealish. To Foden. Foden was one being yellow carded here for that that small fracas with Amrabat over there. And lastly, we have Isaac Musunga. Manchester United, please do something. Yes, let's see if they can do something in the last 3 minutes of this first half. There's still a lot of minutes to play in the first half. Let's see if Manchester United can come back in this encounter. And straight to the starting 11 for Manchester United. The start in goal post is Andre Onana, who has conceded a goal today. And in defense, the back four of Diogo Dalot, Harry Maguire, Johnny Evans, and Lindelof in defense. While in midfield is a midfield pairing of Christian Eriksen and Amrabat in defensive. While up front they have Marcus Rashford, Scott McTominay, and Bruno Fernandes. While up front is just one-man striker, Ojlund, who is still looking for his first EPL goal this season. You know, talking about how much they spent on getting Ojlund, he hasn't scored 1 goal in the EPL.
You know, he started the EPL from the injuries.
Yeah, but he has played like 6 matches in the EPL already.
Yeah, he has played 6 matches. Let's see. Let's give him the benefit of the doubt. He's a very young striker. Let him go into the league. He's coming to a new league, new environment. It's not as if he has stayed long even in Atalanta.
But talking about another striker right now, and that is the striker starting from Manchester City, Haaland.
It's different.
He hits the ground running.
Haaland is different. You know why it's different? In Salzburg, he played like a season or 2, full-blown season, being their top man. He went to Dortmund. He was their top man practically all through his time at Dortmund. I think he used 2 or 3 seasons at Dortmund. It's different from an Ojlund that is just coming to limelight at Atalanta and having just a 6-month good time. And he didn't even score up to 15 goals. And you just give him the responsibility of leading the attack of Manchester. Sometimes, see, it depends if no matter how good you are as a swimmer, some rivers will swallow you. It depends on how deep it is. So you just need the capacity of a player, what they can do, the kind of club they can be part-time. You'll be surprised from Lille then, if it had been Real Madrid that signed Osimhen, it might not have blossomed like this. But Napoli gave him playing time. They gave him time. Now he has delivered the Scudetto. Now he's a full-blown striker that can lead the attack for any team. Sometimes, you know, human being differs.
Yeah,
so let's just keep
in addition, a player who can score in the Champions League, why won't he score in the EPL?
It depends.
He's still looking for that first goal.
You know, the kind of opponent in the Champions League is different.
Of course. Manchester United with the ball right now and controlling the midfield is Amrabat, and it goes straight to Lindelof, who is on the ball right now. He chose to go straight into the midfield, And it's Manchester United who are asking the call-ins right now in the 45th minute. We have 4 minutes additional time in the first half. Let's see if Manchester United can get us the second goal in this encounter, which will happen to be Manchester equalizer. And that's a good chance for Manchester United with this big equalizer.
Ederson.
What a save from the Manchester City goalkeeper. A worried movement there from Manchester United. Good one there from watchalong. But that will be threatening or calling Ederson into conceding a goal in this first half. Good one from Manchester United, and that is what they bring to the game.
Yeah, you know, you have to just send that awareness to your opponent that we are here so that they don't play too high line. When they play high line, the defender switch to the midfield press you, and the attack too. The pressure will be too much. Now, with that chance, that will send a signal back to the Manchester City defense that, yeah, we can't attack anyhow. We can get points.
Oh, that was actually Scott McTominay with a chance for Manchester United.
Yeah, played that
he's actually in a good form, you know, same score in the Champions League and the last game in the EPL for Manchester United, which is actually good for the Scotland Scottish midfielder. International. And straight to Manchester City starting 11. They start with their goalkeeper, the Brazilian Ederson in goal post, and a defending last foreman of Kai Walker, Ruben Dias, Just Stones, and Vadoy making the four-man defenders for Manchester City, sorry. And the defensive pairing of Rodri and Bernardo Silva. While up front they have Julian Alvarez starting as the attacking midfielder for Manchester City. There's also Phil Foden and Jack Grealish. While up front there is Erling Haaland, the goal scorer in this encounter. Looking at Bernardo Silva, you know, we all talk about how utility that young man is for Manchester City. And at the point there were talks of him going to Barcelona, but Pep Guardiola kept this young man. And you look at where he plays for Manchester City. Plays everywhere in the midfield. Yeah. And it's looking like even if he's being called to keep or play as a goalkeeper for Manchester City, he'll actually do a good work there.
He might not do that because of his height practically. But when you look at it, Man City lost Gundogan, lost Riyad Mahrez. You don't lose your key players like that and you are going in for another season. You have to lose 1 or 2 per time. Because there is no way you can replace their talent, but you can't replace their experience. It's not that easy. So I understand the fact that Guardiola insisted on him signing a new deal. And I think it has paid off because Bernardo Silva came good for them, especially in the defining moment last Champions League. We saw the goal he scored, I think, against Real Madrid in the semi-final. Yeah. So he's one important player for them, and he has been turning up good for them.
Okay, Manchester City have played. They're playing their 10th game, which leaves them with 8 games they've won already, but they've lost 2 games in the EPL. This is currently the 10th game. Sorry, another chance for Manchester City. What a point blank save from the
save of the century,
and that's a good save.
Wow!
That is a wonderful save.
Can you imagine?
That is a contender for the save of the month.
That was actually a point blank save there from Andre Onana to keep Manchester United 1-0 in this encounter. And that is why Manchester United paid about 64 million for this young man, and he's not keeping Manchester United in this game because that would have easily been 2 goals up right now for Manchester City, but that was easily saved by Andre Onana in the 49th minutes, and that is the end of the first half. It's Manchester City who takes the lead at halftime 1-0 against Manchester United at Old Trafford in the Manchester derby. The goal scorer was Erling Haaland, as he gave us the lead in this game through a penalty. Andre Onana has been Manchester United's savior in this game. Multiple saves to keep Manchester United in this game. But let's see what happens in the second half. And I expect Eric Ten Hag to go into the dressing room, you know, and put life into his boys.
Yeah, put life into them, encourage them. Tell them 1 or 2 places where they made mistakes, especially in their build-up to attack. Too many misplaced passes. Their positional play, they really need to improve on that. And their movement, then they should avoid unnecessary fouls. Unnecessary fouls. You are playing with a very, very well-coached tactical team. So when you commit these fouls, they will fall to the ground because even some other players might ignore falling to the ground. The main reason why VAR cut back was Rodri falling to the ground and raising his hand. So these are part of the technical part of the game. And Ten Hag should tell these boys they should be more careful so they don't concede more unnecessary penalties.
And they need to be very much careful against Manchester City in the second half so they don't concede unnecessary penalties. Looking at the first half, Manchester City 1, Manchester United 0, the Gaffer. What are your thoughts from the first 45 minutes?
Yeah, it has been a very cohesive encounter. It's very cohesive. And it has been competitive. As we expected, yeah, the competition spirit is high. Both teams are playing very well. Manchester, despite the fact they go down, I think I still salute them because we've seen some clear-cut chances they created, and though they didn't get the goal, we saw 2 misses from watchalong that ordinarily would have been a goal, but with the brilliance of Ederson was able to put that to stop. I also saw some beautiful moments for Manchester City also that would have been converted to goal, but also the brilliance of Onana also saved that. It has been an end-to-end play.
Stuff.
Yeah. So that is what we expected in the Manchester derby. And the way Manchester United are going, I think it looks like they are going to score a goal in this encounter today. But it also looks that Manchester City can also score more goals. But I want to greet the both sides for putting up this kind of show today. It's a very brilliant play. But I am seeing second half for us to have like 2 goals or 2.5 goals.
Straight to you, Yemite. Looking at Manchester United's central back pairing, Johnny Evans and Harry Maguire, 2 unlikely starters for Manchester United. These are not the very best of starters Manchester United fans want to see, starting from Manchester United. But they've actually given a good account of themselves in the first half.
Yeah, they have. You have to look at it. Few games, that pairing has been very key in defending for them. And look at the Copenhagen game, look at the Sheffield United game. They've done well defending the lines, controlling the defense. Look at how they've managed to keep Manchester City to reduce the number of chances they created. And that's a very good one. And I think I must give it to Ten Hag. Actually using his eyes to see in training. And actually spotting the fact that Maguire has improved, and he kept faith with him, even deciding to leave him in the summer before. It brings him back into the squad, and he releases him into the first team, and he started performing, though the first team he released him into is because of injuries to other starters. But Maguire has seen the chance, and he embraced it with his double hands, and he's doing fantastic.
And straight to the comment section, we also have Mary Olugbodi. The Red Devils will score, but Manchester City will win this game 3-1. That's a big call from Mary Olugbodi. Sorry. Yeah. Now we have we have 2 competitors right now. Basi Osaige, saying that Manchester United are going to win 2-1, and we have Mary Olugbodi who says Manchester City are going to win this game 3-1. It's like we have two of them are meeting at an equilibrium point that Manchester United are going to score in this encounter. Do you actually share in that?
Yeah, they've had some chances and they lost it. So right now, they only have 45 minutes to come back into this game, and they are playing at home in the theater of dreams, or maybe it's not the theater of nightmares. We don't know. But I think they need to wake up, stand up, and play like a team that is at home. It has been Man City playing as if they are at home, and it doesn't
they're playing their city,
see, in a Manchester derby, it's not about how successful you are in a season. It's about the bragging rights in the next derby. It's very, very important. Not even when you are playing at home. They need to do better than what they've done so far.
You can hear that from their minds. They need to do better than what they've done going forward in this encounter. And where Manchester United needs to do better is scoring goals this season. In 10 games, they've scored 11 goals, but they've conceded 14 goals, which leaves them as a -2 right now. And that is -3, sorry, which is actually a bad one for Manchester United, looking at the caliber of players starting for this team.
I keep saying this, and people keep looking for the easy target. The easy target has just been Onana and Maguire. You have to testify to the fact that the defense of Manchester United has been questionable. Not about even the goalkeeping, the defending. Lisandro Martinez to Varane, those guys, they are not in the form they were last season. We need to question them. Not, you don't have to just look for easy targets. Sit down and analyze the game. Look at their movement. Look at their positional play. Look at their high line. Look at how they recover. And you look at it and you see many of those goals they concede. It's not even on that night. They allow the opponent to get into very dangerous position. And, you know, an attempt is 50-50. You can be brilliant, but you might not be brilliant. That doesn't mean you're a bad goalkeeper.
Well, 45 more minutes to go in this encounter. The Gaffer, what do you think Manchester United needs to do in the second half to get back into this encounter? Because the victory here, you know, the bragging rights and everything is very much important for Eric Ten Hag and his boys.
Yeah, very, very important. You know, when they come in the second half, they need to make use of the wings. The strength is in Rashford. Make use of the wing, even though he's not going to score. Let him create that chance. Let it run across them. You know, with assist from the midfielders, we'll be able to run and let them make use of two wings. I think it will be, you know, it will pay them more, and either from the right or from the left, to use your wings against them. But also be mindful of a counter from Manchester City. That's one thing. If you are playing against Manchester City at any point in time, they can come against you. So make use of the wing. Get cross across.
Talking about the wing, sorry to cut you, talking about the wing, you know, they have to get a Marcus Rashford in form in this encounter to actually make use of the wing. And we're talking about a Marcus Rashford who is not in form and he has actually been absent in this first half. How do they intend to bring that young man into this game?
All right, if he's not in the game, you can bring in you can substitute him. Bring in Tony. What about Tony? Is he not in the lineup?
Who?
Anthony. Yeah.
Wow. Anthony is not starting.
Anthony's not starting. It's not on the line. So
they still have Anthony. They have Garnacho.
They have Anthony. They have Garnacho. If Rashford is not in form, you make use of Anthony. Bring him in, walk through the wings, and see what can come up from there.
Going forward from Manchester United, the only player in form has to just be watchalong. And the form is not even the form that a striker will be. He's not scoring local in the Premier League. He's not scoring locally. He's scoring in the Champions League. So when you now look at that fact, you will see that going forward, Manchester United need to improve. They need to improve. You see, their positional play and the way they move into dangerous areas, it's questionable. They've won how many games now by luck? Or by maybe just a sheer spirit. You don't use spirit just to play for a whole season. You have to be good technically and how you interpret it tactically. Because your interpretation in matches is very, very important. Look at it now. You are playing a Mason Mount in the pivot. He's not playing well because he's not playing in his natural position. And you keep blaming him that he is a 60 million waste. How can you be giving somebody the food he cannot eat and you say he's not eating at home? It doesn't work
straight before we go for a breather, let's look at Manchester City. They've actually been wasteful in the first half. Look at how much goals they've actually lost for the first half. How much of a big impact can that be in the second half for Manchester City?
Of course, in this kind of derby, you have to take all your chances. You have to take it. And, you know, I think they've missed two chances they missed was a very good situation that they would have converted to a goal.
Of course.
But they didn't make use of it. So in the second half, it may come back to hurt them. You know, in the second half, it may come back to hurt them.
Ask Barcelona. They can tell you a lot about missing chances. It should be a good lesson for them, honestly.
Okay.
They should not be losing chances.
Let's go straight to the bench of both teams and let's see which players might be coming in the second half. For Manchester United, they have Mason Mount, there's Hannibal, there's Manuel. He's back. He was injured during pre-seasons, and the young player is back for Manchester United. There's Anthony, there's Rafa Varane, and there's Garnacho, Reguilon, Martial, and the second goalkeeper talking about Ben Yedder. Let's look at attacking because that is where Manchester United actually need to fortify themselves in the second half. They have a Mason Mount, there is Anthony and Garnacho. Which of those players might actually be coming in the second half for Manchester United and who can change, you know, the face of this game for Manchester United?
You know, when you have too many players that are not in form, it makes it difficult for the coach. Now, the coach has to just use faith and just look at what Anthony, maybe what he did last season. And, you know, when he wants to exploit win like that, you think he should just use Anthony towards the right and maybe a Garnacho towards the left, because Garnacho, it seems he knows how to read the game from the bench, but his finishing is still questionable. So Garnacho, maybe this will be the game that will just enhance.
Okay, now looking at Garnacho coming in and Anthony, the biggest threats they'll be facing in this game, is the Manchester City right back and left back, whereby you have Kyle Walker on the right and you have Vadoy on the left. These are big man defenders, on their own good day. They are actually very brilliant at their office.
Yes.
Yeah, they are brilliant in their office, and even the best defender concede goals. Even the best defender, you can beat him if you believe.
Yeah.
But it's not everybody that beats Kyle Walker. That is what's about it.
You can, when I say beat, you with 2 passes, you can beat them.
No, modern day football, the wings is meant for the right back and left back. So when you talk about Vialdo on the left, Walker on the right, they don't have issues. Anthony will play into the middle. Will play into the midfield. So the work mainly is now on the pivot and the 2 centre backs. So because one thing is, that's why you bring an opposite strong-footed player in the opposite attack, so that he can easily cut in and create space for the right back to run into space, set a pass, then cross the ball. That's practically what modern-day football is all about, because that's why you have players who can run all 90 minutes on the right back and left back. So the crosses and the delivery. So, but Antonio and Garnacho, we have to operate from the wings into the attack, not spread out to the wings to go and make crosses. And that will be a very big determinant.
Okay, straight to Manchester City's substitution bench, where they have Calvin Phillips, Nathan Ake, there's Kovacic, there's Doku, who is surprisingly not starting today, Ortega, the second choice
Now
goalkeeper,
that's the bench.
Sergio Gomez, Matheus Luiz is also on the bench, and we have Bob and Luis. Look at this bench, and you ask yourself, these
bench.
are players capable
That's
of starting even in a Manchester United team.
Yeah, that's a bench. Doku is on the bench with the form that he's in.
So it's looking like if Manchester United are bringing in Anthony and Garnacho, you look at the caliber of players on the Manchester City bench coming into this encounter.
Grealish is a
But he's actually given a good account of himself today.
Grealish is a patient player. Will patiently dribble you, turn you, try to find space or set a pass. You see Doku will keep attacking you with the ball. He won't let you rest. And see, Diogo Dalot has had a very good game to some extent, because Grealish is not that no-nonsense attacker. Doku will attack you with the ball and keep attacking you until you break down. And if Doku comes in, it can be a danger for Manchester United, because they've been under enough pressure already.
And you can hear that from him. I've been under a lot of pressure already in the first half. And don't forget our watch-along program on Premier Sports Fan Center. You also have the chance to comment in the comment section and give us your view of the first half and what you expect from any of these 2 teams to do in the second half. And let's see if Manchester United can make a comeback in the second half. But I don't really see a comeback from Manchester United in this encounter, because looking like a game, another derby, Manchester City are going to win.
Yeah, it looks like a derby. Manchester, the derby vibe is beginning to leave this derby, because Manchester United has chosen not to live up to expectation. We used to know this derby in the era of Alex Ferguson. Well, maybe this kind of derby is just a season whereby one team will dominate it, and another season will come, another team will dominate it. We saw the era where Manchester United dominated this derby. And now it seems it's a time for Man City to dominate. Only time will tell if they can come back into this game. But I still think all hope is not lost for Manchester United yet.
The all hope is not lost. Talking about the Manchester derby, I think it is just recently that Manchester City, in their last 5 derby, Manchester City has won it 4 times, where Man U have won it once. But if you go back to history,
last 12 months, Man City has won 7 out of the last 12.
So they look better. They are looking good. But we go back to history in the days of Ferguson, we discovered that actually Manchester United actually dominated that era. So let's see how today's one end in front of the Man U fan, how it's going to end. We went for a vox pop, and a lot of Manchester United fans were talking, and a lot of Manchester City fans also talk, and we can see what is happening here today. I think the 90 minutes will be able to decide.
Okay, you can hear that from the gaffer. At the end of 90 minutes, we'll be able to decide what the better team is between Manchester United and Manchester City. It's Manchester United who are preparing a substitution in the second half, and it's Mason Mount who will be coming in. But before the start of the second half, we'll go for a quick breather, and when we come back, it's going to be the second half immediately.
Yeah, it's another match, the 10th match, and it is the match between Manchester City versus Manchester United. That is the Manchester Derby, a very crucial and important match. Right now, Manchester City is sitting second position with 5 points behind Tottenham, who won against Crystal Palace. You know, Manchester United is sitting 8th, but right now, the Manchester Derby is not all about who is sitting top or who is sitting bottom. What matters is the pride associated with the Manchester Derby. Who will take the day? Let's go hear what the fans are saying about their club. This is Premier Sport Fan Center. My name is Menek Benue. Don't forget to subscribe. All right now, I dare here with Citizen, now Manchester United fan, and you know what thing they happen? Now the Manchester Derby. Manchester Derby, the match between Manchester City versus Manchester United is already hitting up, and we are seeing the reaction of the fans. Yeah, I dare with Citizen, now Man U fan, and they want to talk about the match. Do they fear?
I go fear now. I know we fear now. we did the system together.
Right.
As we they live for Nigeria, so more you also they live for Europe now.
As you can see, Citizen with the confidence, you know, fear at all. Manchester City, well. To me, Manchester City and Manchester United is like they are struggling with form. Then they struggle with form this season. You understand what I'm saying? But out of this struggle of form, would you say a better pass?
Better pass in terms of what you see on the table. Yeah, yes. Manchester City. That shows that they have better form anyway, because the table shows that they are ahead of Manchester United. But you know, when it comes to derby like this, you cannot write off Manchester United. It's a different ball game, you know. It's a different ball game. You can play lesser team, and Manchester United can lose, you know, easily. But when it comes to playing Manchester City, Liverpool, Arsenal, Chelsea, it's a different system. But so it shows that tomorrow is going to be head-to-head counting. We are going to go to the pitch with full confidence with what come out from last match of Champions League. So I think that has also boosted our morale. The team, they know now they can do it. Sometimes when it comes to game like this, just a little difference, you know, that make the game different. Yeah. So we are confident tomorrow is going to be. It's not going to be an easy walkover for Manchester City. I can promise you that. Yeah,
you can hear Citizen. He say it's not going to be an easy walkover for Manchester City. Say they're going to fight them there. They're going to fight. It went to giant meat. That's what in grass they so far. But looking at the condition, when we look at about the Manchester Derby, you know, say Man you get edge past Man City when it comes to both of them head to head, because Manchester United don't win at 79 times. Well, Manchester City don't win 52 times. Then they draw 53 times. You know what I'm saying? So, but it's recently it's like Manchester City peak form. But when it comes to Manchester, you hear Citizens talk. It's when it comes to the Manchester Derby, it's a different game, because it's a game of pride. It's a game of pride, and we expect Man U to wake up tomorrow. But what is your prediction for the match?
The prediction tomorrow, not to deceive ourselves, because it's going to be tough, as I said. So we are going to win Man City. We are going to win Man City with 3-2.
Yeah, 3-2 victory for Man City, for Manchester United. That is Citizen Kamu. We hope so the prediction will come through. But before we go, recently we did see some players who don't form Man U hand before. Then they wake up gradually. Players like Maguire, players like Onana, where just come. Everybody they say they don't buy 60 million pounds. Goalkeeper, he can't concede goal like basket. But we can't see what they do during the weekend. You know, Maguire was a man of the match before the previous match, and he now was the scorer of the winner goal in the next match. And we saw Onana save penalty. And what you get to talk to about all the action?
That minute penalty. Yeah. My brother, those two guys don't cause us pass. What did they do? What they do now? If we weigh the
Have coverage of the big one, talking about the Manchester derby between Manchester United and Manchester City. And fortunately, in the 50th minute, while we're on that break, it's Manchester City who got the second goal in this encounter. And who else than the big man, talking about Helen Allen, he scored the second goal for Manchester City. And it's Manchester City who have doubled the lead very early in the second half. And right now, it's Manchester City 2, Manchester United 0.
Yeah,
is there any chance for a comeback right now?
Expectedly, Alan doing what he knows to do best. And we recall from last season that the game at home at the Etihad, he scored an hat-trick. He's looking like Alan might have another hat-trick here in this encounter. But Manchester United has to be wary and very, very careful with Alan.
Talking about that goal being scored on by Manchester City, the second goal, and I asked the question while we're coming back on the program, that how do you free a striker like Erling Haaland? How do you give him a lot of space to pick his header in the box?
Sometimes it's about the movement.
But when that was in the box.
You can get carried away in the movement of the attack. Look at that build-up. The way Manchester United played their
and there's a question that Manchester United are asking for a penalty, but that wasn't given to Manchester United as Manchester City get this play back in the 51st minute. And don't forget, it's Manchester City 2, Manchester United 0 in the Manchester derby, and it's looking like it's home and dry for Manchester City.
And it seems Mason Mount is...
Yeah, and the first substitution was an immediate substitution at halftime. It's Mason Mount who has replaced Amrabat at halftime. You know, that looks like an attacking change from Tel Hang in the second half. But that has really backfired, you know. They've considered a goal early in the second half.
I don't think the change made the goal coming. I think the goal is just the brilliant movement of the... We saw that kind of movement. It was just Onana that saved it in the first half. And Amrabat was on the field. So Onana just couldn't save this one again. And that's why they are 2-0 up.
And the struggle for Manchester United right now, because Haaland has now scored 11 goals. That's as much as goals Manchester United has scored in the EPL this season.
Just one man, and you just have to give it to Erling Haaland. That guy, you know, see, there's one thing to score goals. There's another to deliver when you are under pressure, when the attention and the spotlight is on you. That's why you give one of the reasons you give a lot of credit to Cristiano Ronaldo and Messi. Over the years, the spotlight was on them, the pressure was on them, they were the subject of tackles, attention, and all those things for years, and they kept it like that. So you have to give it to Haaland too. The attention is on him, mark him out, all this, all that, and he still keeps pumping in the goals. His first season, he has broken the Premier League record. And I think if this guy spent 5, 6, 7, 8 to 10 seasons in England, he might tear apart the Alan Shearer record.
Wow, let's see that if he can tear that record, that's Alan Shearer, big record in the EPL, and it's looking. But he seems to stay at Manchester City for the next 4 years, because this is a big man striker, and we saw what happened at Dortmund. You know, at a point in his career, he might actually be favoring a move to the big boys, talking about Real Madrid.
Yeah, he might want to move to the Real Madrid, no doubt, the Real Madrid themselves. But it doesn't matter, because Alan loves this club. That's another factor. Looking at that transfer, he practically didn't negotiate with any other club apart from Man City. And his dad is also a former Manchester City player. So there's history. There's the affection side. There's the playing for the badge. So all these things are factors that make players, part of the factors that make players say, let me just play of the full sizable time of my career in this club. And it's very possible for him to stay at Man City as long as possible. And
let's say that's very much important to say, if he can stay at Manchester United for as long as possible. This match is on the 54th minute. We're approaching the 55th minute already. It's Manchester City who are still asking all the right questions against Manchester United, attacking from the right, and from the left or the right in the second half. And they're back into their defensive role right now. I'm asking Manchester United, calling Manchester United out in this encounter. It's the 55th minute, and still Manchester City who are leading 2-0 against Manchester United. The Gaffer, do you see any coming back for Manchester United in this encounter?
Manchester United,
that laughter says it all.
They are not showing any sign of...
And there's another chance for Manchester City, and they drive straight into the box, and that was a shot there but that was well defended by the wall of Manchester United. Julian Alvarez, who is still looking for his goal in this game, but he has actually been impressive for Manchester City. And, you know, I keep on looking at it, that when Kevin De Bruyne eventually gets match fit, how are they going to cope with Julian Alvarez? Because this young man needs a lot of playing times. He has actually played it well, and he deserves to start for Manchester City.
Yeah, that's a good headache for Pep Guardiola. A coach like that knows how to rotate his squad. Yeah. It's just squad rotation because Kevin De Bruyne, is injury prone. He's aging. And he can't continue on this high level for the next 3 to 4 years. Our best, just keep introducing Alvarez. Let him understudy Kevin De Bruyne. And before you know it, in a few years' time.
So I would say, you know, he's a striker. We need to remember that this young man is a 9. He's an in striker.
Yeah.
And now we are seeing playing as an attacking midfielder. Where do you think is actually his strongest play point?
I think his strongest playing point has to be in the attack, top striking. But that doesn't mean you can't be silky, drawing back into the number 8 role.
And you actually be a big buy for any club.
Any
who actually
club.
But I expect by the end of the season, you know, he should be in the market. You know, a lot of clubs.
Man City won't put him on the market.
You know, look, talking about a player they got for 40 million. And they have the chance of selling for over 100 million right now.
It's not about business for Man City first. It's about the squad first. That's the difference between teams that want to win trophies and teams that want to make money from the transfer market.
Which team are you not talking about?
I'm talking about those ones that start with A, B, and so on. Especially some that is beginning to sell the chairs of their former stadium, sell the grass. Very soon they will soon start selling their parts.
It's back to the game in the 56th minute, approaching 57th minute already. It's Manchester City 2, Manchester United 0, and Manchester City are looking comfortable in the city of Manchester, and they have the bragging rights right now, and they are the last winners of the EPL, and not just the last winners, you know, they won it back to back, and it was a 3-bet victory for them. Talking about Manchester City, and it's looking like they might be going for a 4th one.
Most likely, it looks more like it, but
and finally, the EPL is turning into a Farmers League.
No. You know what? Fine. Over the years, Man City has dominated, but look at this season. Club has really strengthened. They really want to compete, and that's where you see that it is about to switch to another era in the Premier League, whereby even to predict the top 4. You will most likely make mistakes. And
there's another chance for Manchester City. Would that be an hat-trick for Alan? He chose to pass that out for his teammate. Another chance for Manchester City to go straight. But there was nobody to connect to that shot, that import pull out from Jack Grealish there. It's off for a corner to a throw-in to Manchester United. You have to look at the hunger from the Manchester City team. You know, even when leading 2-0, they are still hungry to score.
I think I should check that. That was a hold by Maguire. Alan is not his wife.
That would be too much old leading to penalty. You want the gaffer to actually shout again.
The law is the law. If you like be emotional about it, it doesn't change the law. So that's how it works. You know, if you commit a penalty, if it is 15 penalties, the referee will give it. But there's a way they actually just create a safe haven for the referees, which is referee's discretion.
Right now, Old Trafford has fallen into a period of silence as it's just the Manchester City fans who are crowding and shouting at Old Trafford. Even the home teams are feeling like they are away teams right now in the 59th minute of this encounter. And you see Manchester City fans, you know, shouting, mind the gap, to Manchester United fans in the stadium at home at Old Trafford.
You know, there's one thing. For me, as far as I'm concerned, I don't think Ten Hag is the best man for this job. Because what Man U needs to do is go back and start restructuring. Because football has left their pattern, which is the counter-attacking. You can't sit back and be waiting for counter against teams like Burnley, Sheffield United. And see, you might lose points in those big games if you take all those points from those smaller teams, because I still believe there are smaller teams in football. And when you get those points, important points, you will see that you still contend with these so-called big clubs. So I think they need restructuring from the foundation.
Manchester City, would have breathed the third goal in this encounter in the 60th minute. 30 more minutes to go in this encounter. 30 more minutes for Manchester United to find equalizer against Manchester City. I'm also laughing here because I don't know how they want to get that equalizer against Manchester City. It's Manchester City who are leading at early at 60 minutes. 30 more minutes to go in this encounter in the first Manchester derby for the season, and it's Manchester City who are in the driving force. And in 2 weeks' time, your Chelsea will also be facing this Manchester City. Any chance for Chelsea?
Yeah, as far as I'm concerned, this season, any Chelsea fan, any Chelsea faithful who is as realistic as I am or objective as I am will not expect anything. You just take it as you see it, because you don't expect young lads to give you magic. Hey, even if they create the magic, can they hold it? That's what happened against Arsenal. So you can create magic. It's one thing to create something. It's another thing to maintain it. So, like the Christians will say, they say salvation is free, maintenance is costly. So, looking at Chelsea facing Man City, it's going to be Man City being the favorite. And maybe, just maybe a miracle can happen.
Well, about 2 big games for Chelsea, you know. Talking about the first one is the game against Tottenham. That's coming weekend.
Yeah, Tottenham,
it's just against Tottenham.
You know, when it comes to derby, it doesn't matter who plays it. It can be under 15s. There's a spirit behind the derby. A local derby will always be a local derby, no matter how it looks. As long as Espanyol is still in Barcelona, no matter how informed Barcelona is, they will still struggle against Espanyol. It's just what it is. It's
and
not about the
they can't celebrate a goal at the Espanyol Stadium.
And it's a terrible derby, whereby it's blood for blood, and it's also a cold-blooded, derby in Chelsea and Tottenham. It is even more difficult for Tottenham to sell a player to Chelsea, as deep as it is. So you just have to understand these things, and you know that those kinds of fixtures, you throw from outside the window. We remember the build-up to Chelsea-Arsenal. People were saying Arsenal will tear Chelsea apart. I kept telling them, I said, a derby will always be a derby. And look at how it played out. So you just have to say that derbies, don't stick your neck out, because you might end up losing it.
Well, you don't have to stick your neck out on the derby, and we're in the 62nd minute, approaching 63rd minute in this encounter. As Manchester City will have doubled the lead, and Manchester City who are leading in the Manchester derby. It's 2-0 right now in favor of Manchester City against Manchester United. The sky blue side of Manchester are having the bragging rights, and the sky is currently blue, not red, in Manchester. Looking at the Manchester City bench, they are yet to make a substitution in the second half. And do you think there's any need for Manchester City to make a substitution?
You can already see Anthony and Martial warming up to come in, and I think that is a good situation for Manchester United. Let's see what they bring into the party, because the present players, there's no bite. We're not seeing the second half. The first half was even better. There was a fight against Manchester City, but right now they are not fighting. I've not seen any chances created in the second half. It's just Manchester City who is winning, who is scoring, who is dominating position, who is doing everything. You know, so if they actually want to win this match, of course they should do something. And
I don't understand why Ten Hag has Reguilon on the bench and is playing Lindelof at the left back.
Well, probably to cope with the attacking threat of Manchester City.
If you look at the attacking threat, you have to look at your own attacking too. Because Lindelof won't give you much going forward. It will only defend. That means you are missing one attacking wing in the final third. Because it is expected that the left back will support the wing attacking player to create chances in the final third.
And that's a good chance for Manchester United to come back into this encounter, but that was easily cut out by Manchester City defenders, and that is Manchester United back in the play, and they've actually looked good in the second half. But straight to statistics of this game, ball possession has been in favor of Manchester City as they've dominated play in this encounter. 59% of the ball possession has been in favor of Manchester City, while they've reduced Manchester United to just 41% of ball possession. A good chance for Manchester United to get one back into this game, but that is going to fall straight into the hands of Marcus Rashford, but he wasn't given a lot of time there to actually control that, as Manchester City, who are barraging on the round of attack right now, but they chose to settle down and go back into the midfield. And still Manchester City dominating play against Manchester United. It has been over 1 hour of football, and it's Manchester City, you know, all over Manchester United in this account.
Of course, expectedly, Man City has now grown to one of those teams that they will dominate.
They don't know home or away.
They don't know. They don't know. It's just like the Barcelona of the yesteryears under Guardiola.
You want them to start. You want Barcelona to start feeling themselves.
No.
I can see our producers starting to look like we're actually good, but they are not good.
Oh no, you know, see.
Don't forget, you ran away from the studio yesterday.
You know, it's of blessed memory because it's a past participle. So not the Barcelona we know nowadays. They play 1 half in football, forgetting his 90 minutes game.
Okay, I know the dog can tell me I actually watching this wherever they are. I'm sorry for Barcelona lost yesterday, and Tommy is also losing against Manchester City today. I don't know how she'll be feeling because yesterday in the studio we saw a caller father, caller dad. How was the game?
Yeah. It seems lightning has struck there.
Yeah, lightning has struck twice. And back to the game between Manchester City and Manchester United. Since the 5th minute, it's 0. Manchester United 0, Manchester City 2. And it's looking like Manchester United might be taking this and saying Sokwe Otilo anytime soon in this game.
That's the case.
25 more minutes to go in this encounter. Are you still expecting more goals in this game?
Yeah, I'm expecting more goals.
What about you, the gaffer?
Of course, there will be goals either side, and either Manchester United or Man City score. So I think it's going good for Manchester City right now. They've actually placed Manchester United where they want them to be.
Yeah,
and that is where they
that's
have
the
been.
important statement there.
They
have Manchester United
where they want them to be. And that is my favorite talk wherever a team is losing, because I say, yeah, they have them where they want them to be. Yesterday, the first half of that game, this is a good chance for Manchester United. That was easily caught out by Manchester City. And you have to look at the response from Manchester United. It's not really a big response in this encounter. Good chance for Manchester United, and that is going to be a corner kick in the 67th minute of this encounter. And Manchester United has a corner kick right now. Let's see what they make out of that corner kick. Will it be Manchester United first goal in this encounter? They've struggled for 67 minutes, and we are approaching the 68th minute already in this encounter. And also the big one in Serie A, Inter Milan against AS Roma. And that game will be starting anytime soon. And it's Jose Mourinho against his former club, at a point he gained blood. Where he won the treble, the Champions League, the Scudetto, and Coppa Italia, big one,
and
big record. You have to resign. You have to leave when the accolades are high.
When the ovation is high.
When the ovation is high. Sorry, when the ovation is high. And
no. I don't think it's about ovation.
It's not about
it's about the club that was calling, which was
Real Madrid. And when Real Madrid.
It's very difficult to say no to the Galacticos.
Yeah, you can't say no to
You can say no to the Catalonians, but when it comes to the Galacticos, it's very difficult.
And looking at Inter Milan, they've actually been in good form this season. They are currently topping the Serie A table. Yeah. And do you think this is the season for them to actually regain their title that they lost to AC Milan last season? Napoli, sorry, they lost to Napoli. They lost to Napoli last season.
Yeah, they lost first to AC Milan. AC Milan won it. Then Napoli took it again. So.
And this season has actually been strong for them. They are looking like they are back in the Scudetto.
But you can't really trust them. It looks like they are bad. They lost at home to a dying Sassuolo.
And another man who is back at Inter Milan at San Siro tonight is the big man talking about Romelu Lukaku. He was there with Inter Milan last season. He wanted to go back to Inter Milan this season. He was the favorite pairing with Lautaro last season. But tonight, he is starting against Manchester United.
Rashford.
What a miss from Marcus Rashford. And that will have redeemed his image. In the 65th minute of this encounter, he lost that good chance. Look at the chance. Look at that run against the run of play. What a pass, what a run.
Oh
I think that second touch actually let him down there.
First touch good.
Was good. He should have taken that after the... He should have...
I think it was more of... Walker disturbing him. They couldn't let him get that enough balance.
Wow, what a chance for Manchester United to get one back in that game. And it's Manchester City who are attacking right now against Manchester United in the 69th minute. We are approaching the 70th minute already in this encounter, which leaves us with just 20 minutes to go in this encounter. 20 more minutes for Manchester United to look for the first goal, and Manchester United, 20 more minutes for Manchester United to look for that equalizer and a win in this encounter if they want to get, 3 goals for Manchester United under 20 minutes is a big call.
Yeah, it's possible, but how realistic is it?
Okay.
Looking at this encounter, I think it's very close to a Sokbel Tilo case.
Okay, let's talking about how realistic that is going to be. Ball possession right now sits in favor of Manchester City as they have 58% of ball possession, while Manchester United has just 42% of ball possession. Total shots by Manchester City is 14 and 5 by Manchester United. We've seen 9 corner kicks for Manchester City and just 5 for Manchester United in this encounter. It has actually been a game Manchester City have dominated right from the start till now in this encounter.
Yeah, it has been a game that Manchester City has dominated. A good one expectedly, because I wasn't expecting something spectacular from Manchester United. Because they've not been in form. You just have to think about the way they've been playing. They were lucky against Copenhagen. It's not just about brilliance. And that's a chance for Erling Haaland.
Oh, we're saved there from Andre Onana. As a denied Haaland of getting the hat-trick in the 70th minute of this encounter. What a chance there, what a movement there from Foden, and what a way to release Erling Haaland. Good save there from Andre Onana to save that against the big man, talking about Erling Haaland.
Yeah, that's a good save. Good, he timed his run. Knew when to throw his body and to block the ball. And that was a beautiful one from Andre large. Even Guardiola couldn't believe that.
He made himself large and saved that. There are some good saves from Onana we are seeing. And in fact, he has been the savior.
See, these saves has been there. Go and check other games since the beginning of the season. But people choose not to see it. That's what I keep saying. More of the goals Man U has conceded has a lot to do with their poor defending since the beginning of this season.
And when we talk about Manchester United, last season they said it's a team in progress. A team in progress, a team at work. Last season till now they are still working. And now this is what
they can work for 10 years. They've been working.
To me, 1 season is enough. 2 seasons is enough for you to begin to reap what you have sown. As a good manager, what are you doing?
It doesn't have a specific number of years. Look at how many years Napoli had to wait for another Scudetto. 30-something years. So it doesn't have a specific...
No, we're talking about the manager now. How many years did the manager came?
As far as I'm concerned...
How many years is Spalletti still?
See, with the way Ten Hag is going about his discipline in this squad, I don't see him lasting so long. Because very soon, the players will start to revolting against him. Look how he's treating Jadon Sancho. You came online to paint a player bad about his training. And the player replied and saying, don't believe everything. He has to defend his image. That's his image you are trying to rub in the mud. You don't do that. And the boy is fighting for his right. Honestly, look at it. We've seen De Bruyne shout at Guardiola on the field of play.
And there's a good chance for Manchester City, but that will be good for Manchester City. And Manchester United are making a substitution, and it's Garnacho who is coming into the thick of the action. And another substitution is Reguilon coming in. And that is Garnacho replacing Watchalong. And Lindelof is also out for Reguilon. And you asked that question that why is Reguilon not starting tonight? And we are seeing coming in the 75th minute. What do you think Reguilon will be bringing into this tie for the remaining 15 minutes of this encounter?
I think it's just one substitution that is late already. I don't think there's anything special Reguilon can do again in this encounter. They should just sit back, learn from this result. Even Anthony is just shaking his head at despair. It's just a terrible game, a terrible day in the office for Manchester United. I hope they can recover, but not against Chelsea.
Again, in the Nigerian Professional Football League, we have Abia Warriors who defeated Ireland 1-0 today, and Bayelsa United in the 90th minute have defeated Kwara United 2-1 Eibar against Remo Stars was being postponed, and a good chance for Manchester City, but that will be going to the back of the net. Jack Grealish with that shot, he has been asking a lot of questions in this game, and it looks like he deserved a goal in this encounter.
Yeah.
75th minute already in this game, and Manchester City are yet to make a substitution, while Manchester United have made 3 substitutions already in this encounter.
Yeah, Manchester United has made 3 substitutions. Why? Because they need a goal, and you just have to give it to Jack Grealish. I think, apart from Alan scoring 2 goals, he's in contention of the man of the match.
And here's a good cross from Manchester City with his speed, threatening Manchester United for a 3rd goal. But they were able to clear their lines as early as possible. It's Manchester United who are eating on the counter right now. But they lost that out in the midfield. Look at the recovery rate from Manchester City. It's actually beautiful to see.
Really beautiful to see. And you have to give Man City one credit. Look at the number of games they have played. They know how to score very early in the second half. When they score you early in the second half, you are already where they want you to be. And Manchester United should have seen that coming. Not looking the other way, whereby you just consider that kind of goal and you go far back in an encounter like this.
Okay, let's see if Manchester United can rally back in the last 15 minutes of this encounter. We are in the 76 minutes and just 15 more minutes to see if Manchester United can get in the required 2 goals to come back in this encounter. Nothing is impossible in the game of football, and they can actually stage that comeback, even if they can't do it for the first 70 minutes. We saw it in the game between Real Madrid and Barcelona yesterday. You know,
yeah.
Real Madrid staging that comeback against Barcelona within 15 minutes, and they got 2 goals to actually overturn that game.
Yeah.
So Manchester United can also, you know, rally around and get 3 goals tonight against Manchester City, even when it's looking like it's impossible.
Yeah.
And I'm sure the gaffer can actually put his money on that, to put his money on that Manchester United coming back in this encounter.
No.
You can't?
Why would I put my money?
No, you're always betting against odds.
No, not this one.
It's quite unfortunate that Manchester United is not the Galactico, it's not the Real Madrid.
And what a good chance there from Inter Milan to go early in this game, but that's only going to the back of the net. Marcus Thuram there with a rebound after the ball hits the woodwork, but that's only going to the back of the net for the first goal in the Inter Milan against AS Roma game. And back to the Nigerian Professional League, Castilla United are currently 3-2 up against Sunshine Stars in the 86th minutes, and it's full time in the game between Rivers United and Lobby Stars. That game ended 1-0. Shooting Stars defeated Doma United 3-1, and it was a game of stars here tonight, shooting against Doma. It was a game of stars. And the big one in Lagos, Sporting Lagos against Niger Tornadoes is in the 4th minute. The pride of Lagos are currently playing 0-0 in the 4th minute against Niger Tornadoes. You can actually go to the Mobalaji Johnson Arena Stadium to have a feel of Sporting Lagos. They play beautiful football just like Manchester City in the Nigerian Professional Football League. And back to the game between Manchester United and Manchester City, 78 minutes already. It's Manchester United who are trailing 2 goals down at home against the Manchester City. Don't forget, Pep Guardiola is here to make a substitution. Good chance for Manchester City to go 3 goals up, but that's only going to the back of the net and back to Phil Foden, who is actually having a masterclass game of his own standard tonight. You know, he has actually been everywhere from Manchester City, and you ask yourself the question, as good as this young man is, why is he not starting for Manchester City?
Yeah, you know, when you have too many quality players, you know, you just have to rotate your squad and give it to Foden, fantastic young lad. Man City will only know how valuable he is when he leaves Man City. Because this guy, if you don't start giving him the normal playing time he wants, he might want out. So, and that will be more difficult to keep him, because what else can he win for Man City that he has no one?
Talking about the young man, Phil Foden, at his young age, you have to look at the number of EPL titles that young man has. It's just a Champions League and everything. Where else what do you call? He has won it all for Manchester United. Back to that game, it's Manchester City who are leading Manchester United 2-0 right now in the EPL. It's looking like a game we might just be saying Sakwe Otilo very soon in this encounter. And it's looking like if there's going to be another goal in this encounter, it might just be Manchester City getting that goal.
Yeah, it looks more like.
Prior to this match we're watching the Italian Serie A, the match between Cagliari versus Forcino. You know, Cagliari scored 3. Forcino scored 3 goals in the first half. And Cagliari equalized that game and won it 4-3 today. And those 4 goals came within 20
And that's
minutes.
a good shot from Rodri. And the rebound.
Chance for Manchester City. Yes, 3-0 Manchester City. The third goal from the young man. Whereas down the 5 EPL winner, Phil Foden, the young English winger, just tripled the lead for Manchester City. It's Manchester City 3, Manchester United 0 in the 80th minute of this encounter. They are in 3 stars heaven right now against Manchester United. It's Manchester City 3, Manchester United 0.
Yeah.
There's nothing united about Manchester United right now.
No, they're scattered. You know, disunited. You understand what I'm saying? You know, I was at a point. I watched that match. I told somebody in the first half. I said this.
That's great. Alan with the assist. Wow.
And look at that shot.
You know, I told the guy we were watching the match together. I say this Cagliari. I love.
That was a good shot from Rodri.
And you know what's about Rodri is those shots. We saw it in the Champions League.
You know,
he doesn't take those shots anyhow. But once he takes that shot, just one space. Once he sees that space, he goes direct with those shots, and that is just one of it. And you know, what a way for Manchester City to go 3 goals up, and what a statement from the Blues side of Manchester, going 3-0 up against Manchester United. Pep Guardiola is on course to win another EPL title.
I would beg to differ on that because you see that Liverpool.
And you can see the Manchester United fans, they are going out, and you can hear that from the gaffer. The way it's been spoken in Nigeria view centers, one by one, they go. And there are Manchester United fans, they are not going anywhere because this game is being played in Manchester and it's a derby game between both Manchester teams. But it's Manchester United who are losing 3-0. What a way to give.
You now give them a memorable 3-0.
We're talking about the young man, talking about Phil Foden, and looking at his CV. It's actually, you know, a very healthy one. You know, 5 EPL titles, 2 FA Cup titles, 4 Carabao Cup titles, 2 Community Shield, and you know, 1 Champions League and 1 runner-up and 1 Super Cup. That is LD for a player at his age.
And they're still going for the. That was a good bicycle kick from Phil Foden. And they are still going for the World Club Championship in December.
You know, I keep on looking at it. I keep on looking at it. At the age of 23, just 23, 5 EPL titles.
What about Alvarez? That's won the World Cup and the Champions League.
Wow.
At what age? So
Talking
it's
about
just
that young man, look at the talent in Manchester City. And you can see the Manchester City faithful. They're turning Old Trafford, you know, to their home ground. They own Manchester right now. 81 minutes, and I'm very sure Manchester City and Manchester United defenders and players will be asking when can that 9 minutes just come to an end in this encounter. It's Manchester City 3, Manchester United 0. 81 minutes to go in this encounter, but it's looking like it's done and dusted for Manchester City.
Yeah, it's looking dusted already, but you can see the struggle here. It's like Manchester United want to at least to cover their face in shame, get a goal here. I think consolation goal. And to at least to use it to, you know, call back the crowd, the fans that are already leaving the stadium with a goal now. How many minutes left? They just have
just 8 minutes. 8 more minutes to go.
8 minutes left.
Technically 7 more minutes to go.
For them to come back from three goals down, it is going to be a very difficult situation. It is a gone situation.
You know, first for you to think about a team will come back, they have to be playing.
They have to be playing very well. That's what I was saying.
Look at how Man U is playing.
I can even say if there will be any goal in this remaining 7 minutes, it might actually be, you know, Manchester City getting a goal again in this encounter. They've actually dominated Manchester United everywhere.
And let's look at they've had one substitution.
They didn't make any substitution in this encounter. And let's look at total shots in this game already. Manchester City have made 18 shots in this game, while Manchester United have just made 6 shots in this encounter.
Just look at it. Man City is
playing fully
as
dominated
if they are playing against a smaller team in the league. The sense of urgency is not there. They're just playing like this is our regular customer. We will defeat them. It's a normal thing. And this if Man U didn't show up for this encounter, it will be 3-0 walkover. So why are they playing on the field?
All right, this kind of situation we are seeing right now, this is not the first time.
That was actually a kick there on Bruno Fernandes, and he's not having any of that as he's complaining to the referee and they're limping up, but he can't complain.
I think there's something wrong with that captain handband of mine. When they gave it to Maguire, he started misbehaving. Now they're giving it to Fernandes. Fernandes, too, his form is dropping terribly. And I think they need to sanitize that handband.
Yeah. You know, I think
Just a disclaimer.
This is the first time Guardiola is playing. It's not the first time he's playing without substitution. We've seen him play it against Newcastle, and now he's repeating it here against Manchester United. This is the 84th minute now. He has not made any substitution. Probably he's going to play full time. You don't want to change your winning team.
You don't change the team that's playing well, except if you notice that one of them is tired or something. But they are playing well, and turning the Old Trafford to the theatre of Man City dreams. So it's a Socrates case in this.
Okay, we also have Alazari Mirate. Sorry, I hope I don't spell your name. I think the problem is the manager that's always fun to the club. Well, is the manager a problem for Manchester United?
As far as I'm concerned, that guy has a big issue. You need to know how to manage egos. You cannot say a big player that has risen through the ranks. It will not have. Sometimes some players are humble. You can be lucky, but even the so-called humble Messi, you can see the ego he can exhibit. Even Cristiano Ronaldo. These things come with great performances. So you need to know how to manage ego. It's very, very important. Look at what is happening with Jadon Sancho. You don't come out to talk about your player like that. Look how Guardiola managed those information. There was a time that De Bruyne shouted at Guardiola on field in front of the whole world. And Guardiola managed it in press conference. I know he must have gone into the dressing room and said he should not talk to him
from
like
Manchester United is Marcus Rashford, who has been substituted right now. And it's Martial, who is on the pitch. And it's Manchester City, who are preparing to substitution. Right. Kovacic and Doku will be coming into this encounter in the 86th minute. 4 more minutes to go in this encounter, and you're bringing these two big players. You know, it's what they call.
You know, bringing in Doku, you want to keep the defense of Manchester City busy, so that they will not even think of scoring.
Apart from that, you have to look at the way Kovacic handles the ball. It's very difficult to dispossess him. Very difficult, and you're leading. I don't understand. Guardiola is not showing any mercy.
Substitution from Manchester United. Anthony came in for Eriksen in the 86th minute. And there's also Anthony Martial who came in for Marcus Rashford. And we can see Manchester City preparing their own substitution. Is Doku will be replacing Jack Grealish in the 86th minute. You know, what a big call from Pep Guardiola, bringing in classical player like Doku and Kovacic. Even when you are leading 3-0, sorry, in the 86th minute. 4 more minutes, what are you attacking against again?
Yes, sir. I just said Guardiola is not showing any mercy.
There's no mercy.
The man understand what the spirit of football. Never say never until it's over. You know, we have seen situation whereby in 3 minutes, 2 goals are scored. We've seen situation in 5 minutes, 3 goals are scored. He's aware of it. And that is why we don't want to give any chances. And that is why he can always remain top and very difficult to go down. You know, he's a good manager, I think. Right now, he has been the saving grace of Manchester City.
And I think...
Yes, another chance for Manchester United is Garnacho on the ball right now into the box, but he lost that out. And he has actually won Manchester United a corner kick. You have to look at the pace of Kyle Walker, even at over 30. You look at that pace and how much it was easy for him to meet Garnacho there to win, to actually defend that off for a corner kick.
Honestly, he's in a top form of his life. You can... This is a testament to why Bayern Munich came all out after him. Before Man City said, this one is not going anywhere. And they had to just convince him to sign a new contract. Top right back. In fact, for me right now, I think Walker is the best right back in the world.
And you have to look at it, there's a big problem for Manchester United. They can't hold the ball for 30 minutes, 30 seconds in this encounter.
How do you want to dominate a team like this? How?
The recovery rate of Manchester City is very high.
The recovery rate is very high. Man City is playing as if we don't want you to touch the ball at all. Once you dispossess them, they take it back from you. You just have to look at this Man City team. Guardiola needs to be a course in Football Training Institute to go and study how he reads and understand the game. How he breeds players to become the kind of player that will be good, a good utensil for to become a weapon of mass destruction to the other team in his own type of football philosophy. Is one to watch out for.
Okay, it's very well to watch out for. Talking about Pep Guardiola, I'm very sure EPL fans are waiting for when that young man is going to leave, that genius of a man is going to leave the EPL. And you have to look at the hunger on his face. Even when you are leading, there's still that hunger for urgency. He wants more goals.
You know one thing about football is it is more psychological than physical, because once you concede a wrong kind of goal, it can lead to the team coming back into that encounter. So you just have to protect it for the whole 90 minutes. You can't afford to lose, guys. And
that is what you get from Yemite whenever he is there analyzing the beautiful game of football. You know, he's always top-notch. And congratulations to South Africa as they won the Rugby World Cup yesterday. A good one for Africa. And the Gaffer equally predicted that's happening when they play the semi-final against England. A back-to-back victory for Africa. And that is one for Africa, no doubt. It's always beautiful when you see Africa. You know, you have to tap into it. As well, we're waiting for the when Africa team is actually going to win the FIFA World Cup. We saw Morocco get to the semi-final, and that actually offers a lot of promises for African teams.
One team to look out for is actually Morocco.
Oh, I was thinking you talk about Nigeria.
Nigeria.
It's 90th minute already. The game between Manchester City and Manchester United. Another 4 minutes has been added in this encounter. Just same way we had 4 minutes in the first half. 4 more minutes for Manchester United to do the unthinkable, getting 3 goals, within 4 minutes of this encounter. Or will it be Manchester City getting the 4th goal in this encounter at Old Trafford in the Manchester derby? They've dominated play for 90 minutes against Manchester United. It's just like it's Manchester City having a party right there in the city of Manchester. But this is not Etihad Stadium. This is Old Trafford, and they're making Old Trafford turning into the new Etihad Stadium, no doubt, because they've dominated Manchester City in this account. They've dominated Manchester United, in this encounter.
Yeah, they've dominated Manchester United. You just have to give it to them. The game plan, playing a 4-2-3-1 diamond formation, putting enough bodies in the midfield, stopping anything called threat that Bruno Fernandes could muster out, and just a brilliant one. Just a brilliant from Pep Guardiola. The football tactician has done it again.
Oh, he has done it again. I will be looking forward to see this game over. It's the 91st minute already. It's still 3-0 in favor of Manchester City. We're a big call there between Anthony and Doku, and that will be a yellow card to Anthony. Emotions are flying in right now, and that might just be a big problem for Anthony, as he has been yellow carded by the referee. Talking about Thierry, he has given Anthony a yellow card, and a yellow card also to might just be a yellow card too. Oh
my goodness.
What was that? What was that?
That was
actually absurd.
Born out of frustration.
I think VR should check it out.
We saw the frustration right from the bench.
Yeah, I think
when it was coming in, he was already shaking.
You don't bring emotions into the game of football.
But you can't separate emotions.
That was actually risky for
me.
It was the one who roughed Doku. Yeah. And it was the one who sought to challenge him.
Yeah, so and Doku was even warning him.
And it was
you don't do that. Seriously, you don't do that in the game of football.
That
was actually dangerous. And that is Doku again with the ball into the box. And that is what it brings to the game of football. It's always a fun to watch whenever he's playing that game. It's always a fun, he's always smiling. He reminds me of another player, Rafael Leao.
Yeah,
whenever they are onto the ball, they are all just beautiful to watch. I can see that smile on your face.
Yeah,
you always wish he plays for your Chelsea, but he plays for my Manchester City. We are the blue side of Manchester. We are currently defeating Manchester.
I don't know how many teams you want to adopt now. Very soon you will adopt.
Wow. That was almost another strong man. That was almost another kick. And funny enough, he gets injured easily.
Yeah,
but it's actually. I'm talking about Doku.
Yeah,
he's an injury-pro player, but he hasn't gotten that injured. He hasn't gotten injured at Manchester City. Very short there from Manchester City, but that will be threatening Manchester United.
And I think that's a free kick from Man City, and I think Alan can fancy his chances.
We are in the final minutes of the additional time in this encounter. and it's Manchester City who are in the driver's seat. 3-0 up against Manchester United. You can see the frustration on the captain's face. Talking about Bruno Fernandes, he's actually looking frustrated in this encounter. Yeah. Not really much. We've not seen much of him, you know, since becoming the captain of Manchester United. It looks like there's a course on that captaincy bad.
It looks more like
you have to look at Harry Maguire. Since he left that captain bad, he has actually been reversed.
So you just have to look at it. I think the last captain they had that did well with that captain that has to be Ryan Giggs. But after he left, I think they've not had a worthy captain as far as I'm concerned. But Bruno Fernandes just needs to wake up, get his head into the game, and try to do what he knows how to do best. Forget the captain armband with. Just do that thing that you know how to do, which is score goals and create assists. And no, but when you are playing Man City, you know Man City is coming to the.
He has a free kick to Manchester City deep into this encounter in the 94th minute, and this might just be the last attack in this encounter. Yeah. And it's looking like it's a game Manchester, another famous victory for Manchester City against Manchester United. Let's see what happens with this free kick. Will it be going back into the back of the net as the last fourth goal for Manchester City in this encounter? A lot of goals has been considered by Onana in this encounter, and it's actually, you know, looking at how good he was last season and seeing conceding this high number of goals this season is actually
that's one thing I don't like about stats. How many of these 3 goals now could he have saved?
Oh, well, he considered all the 3 goals.
But how many could he have saved that he couldn't? That's the question. All these goals, there was nothing. The one he could do something about in the first half from Haaland, he saved it. He saved about 2-3 chances. Look at the one-on-one situation again. He saved it. But these goals, there was nothing he could do. The first shot, he saved it. Where was the defender to cover? So that begs the question of, it is more of the defensive. And
that was easily taken, and that's the end of this encounter. It's Manchester City who are the victor today. 3-0 victory over Manchester United. The battle of the batsmen has ended with Pep Guardiola taking a Pep victory over Eric Ten Hag. It's 3-0. Manchester City winning the Manchester Derby tonight at Old Trafford.
You know, it makes me remember when Ten Hag came beginning of last season that I said, eras come to an end. That is here to end the Klopp and Guardiola domination of the Premier League. He didn't know, little did he know that he would be dominated. And those coaches, you know the way they smile, and they start pinch is on the field, they will respond to you. He first collected 6-3 from Guardiola, as if that was not enough. Liverpool club had to teach him the lesson of his life with a 7-0 humiliation.
Just welcome to Premier League.
Yeah. So now he knows that their era has not ended.
Okay, so it's a continuation of the era for Manchester City. Will be remaining third in the EPL right now. 24 points still on the same point with Arsenal, and 2 points behind the table toppers, talking about Tottenham, who currently tops with 26 points. And you can see the frustration on the face of Bruno Fernandes. You know, there's once for you to be frustrated, but when you are actually bringing the game to the opponent, it's actually different. We don't really see much from Bruno Fernandes.
They didn't play much,
so I don't really know where that frustration is coming from.
Yeah, you know it's a derby, and you don't want to lose a derby. But you know, Yoruba will say for guy, but it's difficult in this case because the noisy neighbors now are now becoming the successful neighbors. So it's a difficult pill to swallow. So I think that's why you see the emotions coming out from.
Okay, final take from you guys.
I just feel that it's a game I expected Man City to win, and they won in a sweet manner, very interesting manner. And I just love everything.
Well, Manchester City have actually shown their superiority over Manchester United. There's no doubt about it. Came to your own home before your own crowd, last you 3-0, and all of them smiling in front of your own crowd celebrating. And you see the fans of Manchester United disappointed. You know, coming to this match, we know the previous matches played by Manchester United. We've been trying to figure out what tactics of football.
And they've been struggling.
Yeah, what kind of tactics of football are they bringing to the table? We are yet to define it. It's just like an Amoeba, I said. You don't really know where they want, what they actually want to achieve. And today, in fact, it's a manifestation of what they have actually, the tactics they are playing. And Manchester United took advantage of it, dominated them. Man City took advantage of it, dominated them in their own home, gave them 3-0, and it's a good result for them. Maximum 3 points for Manchester City. Congratulations to Manchester City.
3.3 goals for Manchester City. It's a beautiful game.
It's just like a walkover.
It's not like a walkover. Yeah. It's a pleasure having you guys in the studio.
Thanks for having me.
Okay, Manchester remains blue as City is to a 3-0 victory over their inspired neighbours United. Ten side of a little to excite the frustrated Old Trafford crowd as the fierce Brever ran riot on opposition turf. Haaland first half penalty awarded after a VAR check for watchalong push on Rodri set Guardiola's visitors on their way. The Norway international added the second after the interval to double the away lead advantage. Also, before teeing up a simple field for the finish to cap a dominant performance of Manchester City. Victory City level on point with second place Arsenal and 2 behind Tottenham after 10 games. Tehang host who were jeered off after their woeful performance remain 8 and some points, 8 points off the top 4. The Red Devils will look to bounce back when they host Newcastle in Wednesday's EFL Cup clash before visiting Fulham in the EPL next Saturday. City have won 3 games on the spin and host Bournemouth in their next EPL outing. And that is all from the live coverage. Until next time, it's bye for now. And that's about how much we can take on today's edition of Watch Along on Premier Sports Fan Center. From me and my production crew, it's bye for now.